This is National Infant Immunization Week. It serves as a reminder for parents to check on the shot records since children do come in contact with literally thousands of germs every day. This morning we welcome Dr. Andrew Katz. He's with Dignity Health. Dr. Katz, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Okay, so we're talking all kinds of pediatric vaccines. What would you say are the benefits of having children vaccinated?
Well, I mean, the most obvious benefit is we're preventing a lot of very serious diseases that occur in children. When I started my practice, when I did my residency 26 years ago, you know, there were lots more cases of meningitis that I would see in the hospital. And, you know, we really don't see that much anymore because the vaccines are so effective.
What are some myths that you hear or have heard that you feel like people often carry but aren't necessarily true?
Well, there's a lot of anxiety that parents have about vaccinations. I think one of the bigger ones is risk of autism. People are very afraid of the vaccines causing that. We have really great data for, you know, decades and decades which show us that vaccines and autism have nothing to do with one another. So I think that's probably one of the biggest myths. Another myth is that people think vaccines contain dangerous heavy metals like mercury. A long time ago there was an additive called thimerosal, which is not an actually dangerous form of mercury, but that's been removed from vaccines for a very, very long time. So that's another myth that a lot of people have.
And the thing is, too, I mean, and correct me on this, but these vaccines go through quite a process before they even get into the arms of children. No
pharmaceuticals are tested more carefully than vaccinations. I mean, these studies are usually in the hundreds of thousands of people.
What is it that parents should be doing in preparation, say, for a child's pediatric visit?
Well, I mean, they should try to prepare their questions ahead of time if they can, so they can have an informative discussion with their pediatrician. You know, there's lots of things that they can do as well just to mentally prepare themselves and even physically prepare their infants. When I see patients at their 2-week visit, I try to prepare the parents to come in not just with their questions. That's usually when I ask them if they have questions, so I can sort of head them off before we get to our vaccines and we have more hesitancy at that point. But I do prepare them as well for pain control. It turns out sugar water is really effective at minimizing infant discomfort with vaccinations.
Okay. So
providing that during the visit is helpful. You can actually buy topical lidocaine as well that you can put on your infant's thighs. And, you know, not to be an advertiser for a product, but there's a product called Buzzy Bee that I've been recommending for my patients, which vibrates. It can help block the impulse from getting to their brain so the infants can suffer less during shots.
That is information I would have loved to know like 7 years ago. But my children kind of at this point, they just go through it and it's part of their routine.
Yeah.
Thank you for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.